Hi, I'm Jim Clark, President and CEO of Boys and Girls Clubs of America. I'm excited to invite you to a very special event, the Boys and Girls Club of North Mississippi's annual Dance Like the Stars Gala. It's a great time and a great event, and I can speak from experience. Several years ago, I was one of the participants, so I know you're going to enjoy this. It's happening on Saturday, July 19th at 6:30 p.m. at the Cadence Bank Arena. Visit www.bgcnms.org to get your tickets, and we'll see you at Dance Like the Stars.
Hi, I'm Ryan Blaney, a third-generation race car driver, and we dedicate a lot of our time to going as fast as possible. But when my grandpa was diagnosed with Alzheimer's, it was a very unexpected bump in the road for us. It's important to notice if older family members are acting differently, experiencing problems with their memory, or having trouble with routine tasks. Early detection of Alzheimer's can give your family time to explore support services, make a plan for the future, and access available treatments. If you or your family are noticing changes, it could be Alzheimer's. Talk about seeing a doctor together.
Mississippi's trusted weather experts. This is Mississippi Live Weather at 6.
Thank you so much for joining us tonight on Mississippi Live Weather at 6. I'm meteorologist Gabe Maynor, and a lot to discuss, but let's go ahead and jump into what we'll be looking at here in tonight's show. First, special guest joining us here shortly. You may know him and be familiar with him, but we'll get into that shortly. Taking a look at a sizzling summer heat over the next couple of days. We'll be tracking that here at the Room to Room Weather Center here in the next couple of minutes, and an update on the tropics, breaking all of that down. But first, let's just get a look outside. Beautiful conditions across the region. Just taking a look at this camera there in Aberdeen through the North Mississippi Storm Chasers. 93 degrees, feels like 106, well over that heat advisory threshold. Same thing over and around the rest of North Mississippi, Starkville included within that. Blue skies seen across the region. But I'm going to bring in our special guest, and again, you might know him just a bit, our Chief Meteorologist, Matt Lobhon. Matt, where are you? How does it feel? Does it feel better than Mississippi?
It's pretty hot up here as well. Temperatures in the 90s up here. We are in Minneapolis in the airport, so I guess not the most scenic place for me to show you this evening. On our way to Calgary, Canada, on a trip that hopefully will find us with some cooler temperatures here. But yes, we definitely are fairly hot up here as well. I know you have the heat advisories down there. I know you'll be talking more about that here in a couple of minutes. We also have some thunderstorms that are kind of on our way here. And, that's been the issue for us, back in Mississippi recently. And if I kind of swing this around, I don't know if it's going to calibrate there to what it looks like out there. You can see some storms kind of generally heading in this way. So yeah, we're going to be giving you a few updates here as we go through this trip over the next few days, and hopefully give you some amazing vistas to see. But this is not about me, so let's send it back to you, Gabe, in the studio as we talk about what obviously is not just a hot forecast, but legitimately a dangerously hot forecast over the next few days, right?
Exactly. Yeah, Matt, and thank you for joining us and taking the time. We hope you have a fantastic trip up in Canada. We do want to see some sights, and I think that we might be able to get him a couple of times for you guys here in North Mississippi to see some of the sights that he's seeing. So back here at the Room to Room Weather Center, what we're looking at on a Mississippi Live Weather radar, what we're seeing is just dry conditions across the region. So a lot of those thunderstorms that they're seeing up north, not the case down here. So we're staying dry and keeping it calm in the extended forecast. So fortunately, finally reaching that drier spell. I do want to say, looking up towards the Memphis area, we are tracking those thunderstorms that might cause some threats for DeSoto County. You're seeing those move through Memphis and Millington right now. If we were to get some of that activity that moves on the south side of the line, moving at about 25 is what we'll take it. You can see a few towns listed in there. Norfolk closer to around 628, Glover 634, Walls 639, South Haven we're talking about 645. So that's going to be within the next 30-45 minutes or so as that continues to move at about 20 to 30 miles an hour. Typical summer thunderstorm speed, but that's really all we're tracking across the region. So let's go ahead and jump to the next 12. And as we take a look at the next 12, it's a dry and calm pattern. You're going to hear me say that a lot today, but it is going to be the best temperatures we'll see over the next 24 hours because we are dropping into tomorrow morning. We're talking about mid to upper 70s. We'll take it. We'll take it because it's going to get worse from there, especially towards tomorrow afternoon. As Matt was mentioning, dangerous summer heat kicking in. But what we're also tracking over the next 48 hours is this tropical development that's happening down and around Florida. You can see lots of rain totals coming in with excess of 9 inches in some parts. You can see those purples right there in Deltona and especially out there towards the Atlantic coast. Now this is moving over the coast of the Gulf Coast of Florida right now. So as that transitions more into the Gulf, we'll see that build just a bit more in strength. And then it remains to be seen how that'll impact us here in North Mississippi, but at least expecting a little bit of supplemental moisture here over the next 48 hours, really into the latter part of our week and into the weekend. So there you go right there, moving into the Gulf right now, and that's going to act as a microwave for that low pressure center over the next couple of days, and we're definitely paying a lot of attention to it here at Mississippi Live Weather. Going to extend it back up here to North Mississippi to watch how those showers filter on in. You're seeing that activity stick around even into 8, 9 o'clock. Still very isolated in fashion, so a lot of that activity is primarily going to be West Tennessee into Western Kentucky. That's really the extent of it. It fizzles on out once it crosses the Mississippi River, so not seeing widespread threats for us as we head overnight. 10 p.m. still staying on the drier side, and even as we head into early hours of our Wednesday, those dry conditions still in place. So that's not too shabby of a forecast, actually the good part of our forecast. So let's enjoy it, let's soak it in and have a great night's sleep with no rumbles of thunder. As we head out the door tomorrow morning, still staying on the drier side with a lot of that moisture down and around Birmingham, Atlanta, even Hattiesburg getting a lot of that activity. But here in North Mississippi, we're still staying calm. And we're going to enjoy it while we can because further into the week, those chances definitely do change. Mid-morning Wednesday still staying dry and even into the early afternoon staying on the drier side as well. So lots to look forward to in the next 24, but the thing you're not looking forward to, that right there. 96 degrees, peak heating tomorrow afternoon, but it's not just that number we're watching. It's those heat indices that are well into the triple digits. We're talking about 110, 111 in some spots. So it's a time where we need to stay hydrated. We need to stay cool. It's going to be dangerous if you head out for any outdoor activities. So we definitely recommend staying indoors, and we definitely recommend you staying hydrated. But we'll walk through more on the tropics and how that'll impact our extended forecast coming up here in the next 60 seconds. So make sure to keep it here with Mississippi Live Weather for the very latest. We can walk through rain chances, we can walk through the temperatures, and just talk about how hot it'll be. All that coming up here in the next minute.
I was made for this, crawling through the muck to find where the real problems hide.
All this dampness, it's perfect for mold, and that can mean headaches, rashes, even chronic illness for your family.
That's why we offer our Healthy Home 7-point mold inspection to restore your health by restoring your home.
Focusing on water and mold control from the crawl space to the roof, you can call Absolute Restoration, your local and trusted restoration contractor.
Your family deserves the most beautiful smile possible. At Tupelo Smiles, we use precision dentistry and advanced technology to make visiting the dentist an amazing experience. Relationship-based comprehensive care. Come discover the difference at Tupelo Smiles.
1 in 10 kids vape. Each vape pod can contain the same amount of nicotine as a pack of cigarettes.
The Health Class Film Guy isn't the best person to talk to your kid about vaping.
Got a few minutes?
You are. Talk to your child about vaping today.
Right now, from the Mississippi Live Weather Center, here's meteorologist Gabe Maynard.
Well, thank you so much for keeping it here at Mississippi Live Weather. I hope you guys have stayed cool today because temperatures, even though we're talking about tomorrow's temperatures being hot, today was hot as well. We're seeing 95 Amory and Tupelo, and trust me, for those in Tupelo, me included, we felt it. It was hot walking out the door. 95 Columbus, 94 out in the Mississippi Delta, Clarksdale, Cleveland, Greenville. It was just a toasty one across the region. And really, when we say region, we're talking about the entire Southeast. You can see several locations, Dothan, Destin. You know anyone that went to the beach, you can rub this in to them because they are at the beach. But they were in the triple digits this afternoon, and those temperatures only get hotter heading into the next 24 hours. So I don't want to say this, but I hope you enjoyed today's temperatures, comparatively speaking. Heat indices as we head into the evening, still in the triple digits for a lot of locations. And those purples, we're talking about 100 to 105. So it shows that there are some thresholds that are well into that heat advisory range, but really heading into tomorrow when we reach that peak heating of the day, that's when we're going to see those next heat advisories be issued. So day planner, again, it's going to be the coolest it'll be as we head overnight before we get into the hot temperatures tomorrow afternoon, that sweltering summer heat. That's going to be the story for our Wednesday. So walking through Futurecast, we're not going to see too much in regards to rainfall, just those few isolated showers moving into Tate and DeSoto County and even there towards Tunica, just basically moving in, dissolving on out once it crosses the Mississippi River, and then we'll see a dry forecast for the extent of our Tuesday evening into our Wednesday morning as well. So no rumbles of thunder expected, not even a drop of rainfall. It's going to be a beautiful night, even if you want to do some stargazing, seeing how clear those skies are. But towards tomorrow morning, we're waking up and heading out the door to no fog, no rain. So what's your concern? The heat, yes. Always a story here in Mississippi. Low temperatures already starting on the warmer side with a few degrees above that average that we typically be at this time of year. But then those temperatures are just indicative of what's to come by the afternoon. Continue to walk you through Futurecast right here. Those clouds return just a bit, but really what that will be is that moisture returning. This is what it shows. Those high cirrus clouds have that moisture returning and building that atmosphere just a bit more for those hot and muggy conditions. So that's why we expect those heat indices to be so high tomorrow, is because we have this moisture just supplying the air as we head further into our Wednesday. Noontime, still seeing that cloud cover build just a bit, but not going to do enough to put a damper on that sunshine. By early afternoon, maybe getting some of those rain-cooled storms, that rain-cooled air happening through those brief thunderstorms that happen. But if these happen by 1 or 2 p.m., what they'll do actually is just make it feel more steamy. We know that whenever we have a thunderstorm, it's like, oh, yay, there's a thunderstorm. Cools us off for a brief moment. Then you wait 10 minutes and it's feeling even worse than it did before. So really these need to happen at the exact peak timing that we want it, but more than likely a lot of these not, and a lot of these just supplying that moisture to the air. But those showers do stick around for a few locations by 3 to 4 p.m., but still very isolated in nature. Similar coverage to actually what we had today with just those brief pop-up showers that linger for just a minute and then fizzle on out. But the high temperatures, yes, they're going to be hot despite even adding the moisture. We're seeing upper 90s across the region. Greenville, we've been mentioning you a lot because you've been the highest temperature on this graphic for several days now. Yesterday coming in at 98, and we said you could be talking about triple digits. Well, you're 1 degree away. 99 for tomorrow afternoon with 97 Houston, Bruce, 97 towards Kosciuszko and Starkville. So hot across North Mississippi, but it's also muggy. And you see that purple that we were talking about with that 105 to 110 range. We're seeing 110 Greenwood, 110 Clarksdale, 111 Cleveland and Greenville. It's going to be, yucky. Is yucky a word we're going to use? That's what we'll use to describe it because that's the only word that I can think of looking at these heat indices. So buckle up, have ways of preparing. I have my bottle of water sitting off to the side right here, and I'm inside air conditioning, so that shows you just be prepared. You can never be too hydrated in these circumstances. Towards your Wednesday evening, the good thing about this forecast is rain chances dissipate, and so do those hot temperatures. It'll give you a little bit of a momentary break before more heat builds as the week goes on. So overnight, not too bad of a forecast. You do see this rise in cloud cover, and what this is moisture resupplying into the air in the form of rain chances. And Thursday could be the first day of that tropical system starting to impact our area just a bit more. So that's why we see that cloud cover moving in. That's why we see more rain coverage than what we had even 24 hours ago on some of these model outputs. And we talked about the positioning of that low. If it were to move just a bit more to the southwest of us rather than the southeast, we'll see more of that moisture wrap around from the Gulf and move into North Mississippi, and a few of those being on the heftier side, and a few of those actually containing 30 to 40 mile an hour gusts. Just typical tropical development, and we're not going to be out of the loop on that, especially if it moves in the track that models are suggesting. So by Thursday evening, still seeing that moderate showers sticking around with a few rumbles of thunder not being rolled out. But of course, we are watching the positioning on this to see just how much will be impacted here in North Mississippi, how strong that storm does get to, because right now it's just entering the microwave. We just started the timer. So how long is on the timer remains to be seen, and how hot does it get? That also remains to be seen for that unstable air in the Gulf right now that's going to supply the fuel to the storm. So Friday morning still remaining on the drier side, but cloud cover covering our entire region. More than likely going to see showers move in Friday night or Thursday night into Friday as well. Just going to be a rainy forecast going forward. Where the rain does not hit, temperature is still going to be hot. We're talking mid to upper 90s still for a lot of locations. Greenwood, Greenville, still right around that same 97, 98 degree mark. So heat advisory is probably still in effect for you heading into Thursday. Whether they're issued or not, we need to prepare because you're still seeing 109 to 110. It's going to be hot and muggy yet again. But let's go ahead and look at forecasted rainfall. And this will kind of walk you through a general path that the Weather Prediction Center is expecting with this storm. So you can see the large swath of moisture for tomorrow that's going to remain along the coastal regions there in Mississippi, Louisiana, and Alabama. Now watch as it moves into Thursday. You can see where that eye of the storm. I'm not saying that this will have an eye, but I can say that this is going to have strong rainfall right in the heart of where the storm is. So as it makes landfall, this is having it make landfall closer to, I believe that's west of Baton Rouge, there in the south part of Louisiana, right there, close to the state lines between Texas and Louisiana. So as that makes landfall, it will interact with this boundary of there towards Kansas and Missouri. And as that boundary pushes southeast, it'll bring this system a little bit more towards us. And we could see some higher forecasted rainfall as we move towards our Saturday and possibly even Sunday as well. Saturday, the track kind of trending more towards southern Arkansas before it transitions a little bit more in that northeast direction. That's where we could see more heightened chances heading towards the latter part of the weekend and early next week. But that's still, it's all up in the air right now. This is several days out. And even though it's several days out, that means we don't really have a perfect idea of how this is going to go. We do know that this generic path is going to take it somewhere from the Mississippi coast, Alabama coast, and into the Louisiana coast. Somewhere in this range is where it's going to make landfall. What it makes landfall at still remains to be seen. Would not be surprised to see a tropical depression develop. I don't think we reach hurricane strength with this, just because it has such a short duration in the Gulf. But if it were to sit in the Gulf just a little bit longer, slow down just a bit, and just like a microwave does, heats up and just gets stronger, then we could see maybe a lower end hurricane develop. But that's still, again, a lot of questions still with the storm that are not answered just as of yet, but some models depicting more than others. What it is depicting, though, over 9 inches of rainfall for some coastal regions. So flash flooding a concern. So if you're looking to head to the beach, probably don't do it this week. Let's move it to next week. But that's just the rainy forecast that we're going to have. And some of those rain chances do make it all the way into North Mississippi. Sunday and Monday, I want to say that these are tentative, those percentages, because how that storm interacts could make these rain chances pick up just a bit or die down. But we are seeing a drier trend towards Monday and Tuesday. So that is something to look forward to after the dreary end of the week that we're expecting. But guys, this is all beyond the fact that we're having heat advisories tomorrow. So I want to reiterate that once again, because it is going to be hot and it is going to be muggy, and we need to prepare air-conditioned areas, frequent breaks from the outside, and of course, can't emphasize this enough, staying hydrated. That is key to beat this forecast. And of course, talking about the forecast, we'll talk more detail about just what exactly is going to happen with this tropical system coming up here in the next 60 seconds. We did get some pictures that were submitted to us from weather watchers out in the field. And if you have any pictures you want us to show, send it to us. We love showing those off and giving your eyes in the sky right here at Mississippi Live Weather. So you have a little bit of time to submit those. You can submit those, of course, for 10. And I do want to say, if there are any questions about the tropical system or questions about the heat tomorrow, put those in the chat right now. Let us know what you want to know, and we'll walk through that right here in the next 60 seconds. So keep it right here.
At Room to Room, did you know our specialty is custom ordered upholstery? Get the furniture you want and the fabric and color selection you want. With our free design service, we won't let you make a mistake.
When people are fed, futures are nourished. They can connect with the world around them, unlock endless possibilities, and thrive. Join the movement to end hunger. Volunteer. Advocate. Donate. Go to feedingamerica.org/actnow.
Hear that? That's the sound of your life. But every time you drive after drinking, the music gets drowned out. Buzz driving is drunk driving.
Welcome back to Mississippi Live Weather. I want to start with the most fitting picture that was submitted by our weather watchers out in the field for this week's forecast. Logan in Biloxi, I believe you told us in chat the other day that you were getting to meet the hurricane hunters. Well, here's a look at some of their planes that they use as they go out and assess some of these hurricanes. So a great shot there in Biloxi. Thank you to Logan for submitting that picture. I hope you learned a lot. Put it in chat what all you learned. I'd love to be educated a bit more about all that they do, but just thank you to them for their services, and thank you to you for submitting that picture. And if you have any pictures that you want to submit, hopefully it's not of anything hurricane-like. We don't want you guys to be in that, but even just a beautiful blue sky that's synonymous to the day, or the sweltering heat. If there's a way that you can capture that, we want to see it. So just submit those pictures on the Mississippi Live Weather app, and we again thank you guys so much for doing that. Well, we were getting a lot of questions about the tropical development happening out there in the Gulf Coast. Well, where it is sitting right now is on the coast of Florida. Right now it has about a 40% chance of development over the next 2 days, which is up from 30% last night at 10 p.m. 40% chance of development over the next 7, pretty much synonymous to the next 2 days. So just showing you that there is probably going to be a development of some sort. Just how strong it gets remains to be seen. But this general path right along the Gulf Coast of Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama, and even towards Florida, that's really where we expect this path to go. How deep it gets into the Gulf is the question, because if it gets a little bit deeper, and goes just a bit slower, that's where that could act as a microwave and just fuel the storm more and more and see that build over the next probably 24 to 48 hours. But if it were to make landfall, I mean, right there in Florida, we're talking about just a low pressure center. If it were to make landfall closer to Mississippi or Louisiana, depending on the time frame of it, it could reach up to tropical depression, possibly even tropical storm strength. If it goes all the way to the southern part of Louisiana, we are talking about the potential, this is a stretch, to reach Cat 1 possibly. So we are watching a lot of that the next 24 to 48 hours of just what this storm will do, the direction it'll take, and if it is to develop into a named tropical storm here in the next couple of hours, I believe it would be Dexter, and there has not been a Dexter. Correct me if I'm wrong? No. Yeah, so there's not been a named storm Dexter just yet. So we are watching that and keeping eyes on that, and of course people were asking about the path. Path is kind of all over the place right now. Models are not in agreement with it, especially our long-term models. So that just shows you that it's a good thing when they don't agree, because it shows that there's not a good idea this is going to develop into something significant. It's just throwing out a bunch of ideas and hoping one of the ideas stick. That's just how models run sometimes. There's multiple runs that they do, and that's where we take the latest runs and kind of assess how that's trending. And so far it's trending right in the Gulf region. It's been going just a bit slower in the Gulf, and that's why I think tropical depression is definitely possible. So that's kind of a lot of words to bring you to the point of still unknown, but probably tropical depression. Here's a look at the Saharan dust. And Saharan dust is something we use because the Saharan dust basically stabilizes the atmosphere. It is a high shear environment which rips apart these storms. We know shear is needed for tornadoes to form. Shear is not wanted by hurricanes to keep going because it just rips them apart. And so it'll bring in that air and also bring in drier air. So we want that large dust plume that's currently behind me right there to blow into the Gulf Coast, to cycle into that storm for it to diminish in strength. But look at what it's operating with. Wednesday morning, you have this clear sky, this clear area that's going to keep feeding into the storm. So that warm water that's in the Gulf, that low shear environment that's currently there is going to feed in there. So that's what we mean by this is a microwave. This is a primed environment for this to continue to build over time. This is Thursday morning. So that's this model, having it make landfall, you can kind of see it just a bit there on the Baton Rouge, New Orleans side of things as it enters into inland areas. But as it makes its way in, you kind of see how it's trending just a bit north, going up the Mississippi River basically, and that's where we could get some of these storms getting developed into southern Mississippi, and a few of those definitely on the stronger side, depending on how strong that gets over the next 24 to 48 hours. So that's where we could get some of that moisture reaching into North Mississippi, a few of those thunderstorms containing gusty winds as well, typical with tropical systems. So we are paying a lot of attention to this for our future cast and how this is going to impact us even here in North Mississippi. Probably not expecting tropical stuff, but we are going to get remnants of it. And that's typically the case with how far north we are. Not expected in the next 24 hours though, so your day planner looking calm and comfortable. Again, I say if you're indoors, because the heat definitely going to be winning the battle towards tomorrow afternoon. So staying hydrated and staying cool are going to be the name of the game. So just do that. And we'll track more about that heat coming up tonight at 10 at Mississippi Live Weather. And of course, walking you through the latest on the tropics, what new developments we have, and how that path is trending. Those two things are going to be touched on in full detail coming up tonight at 10. And before we go, I want to make sure, Caleb, any questions?
A map that can show water.
Map that shows water temps. I know Matt put tropical maps on our website earlier this afternoon, so I'd have to look at what specifically there is. But I know that we do have access to that here, and I'd be more than happy to put that in tonight at 10. And I will talk to Matt more about possibly getting that on the website if it isn't already. But we do have tropical maps that are on the website that are fully accessible to you. Just go ahead and head to msliveweather.com today and access everything you want that updates you on the forecast. And anything you guys do want on the website that you would see as beneficial or something that you guys might help you go about your day-to-day life, let us know. We'll work to put it in there, because this whole thing, everything we do here, everything we do on the website, everything we do on the app is for you. And we could not be here without you. And so what you guys need and what you guys want, we want to know, and we'll make it accessible to you. So you just let us know and we'll add it in. And then I know that we were talking earlier about streaming services. Some folks not being able to find it. If you search Mississippi Live, those two words, on Roku, then it'll come up. Roku doesn't like weather. I don't know why they're not a fan of weather, but I guess they're one of those people. Everyone here is a fan of weather. But anyway, so put Mississippi Live in your search bar, and it should come up, and then you can download that on your Roku devices today. Still waiting on updates from Fire Stick and Google TV and Apple TV. So we're waiting on that, but all of that should come shortly. It's all being worked on, and so we'll hopefully have access to all that here shortly. But any more? Perfect. Well, this pretty much sums it up for Mississippi Live Weather at 6. Lots to discuss tonight at 10, so I expect you guys to be there. And I can't wait to talk more about just this tropical system and the heat that we'll have to be beating tomorrow. So we'll see you guys tonight at 10. Hope you guys have a great evening.
I don't remember how it started.
Go to that.
Our back and forth. It always came back. Dad! You probably don't remember what you told me,
That was perfect.
but I heard every word.
March 24th, 2023 was a normal Friday. You know, we knew the weather was not good, but we needed to take shelter, and we didn't have shelter. My husband and almost 2-year-old daughter, Ethan and Riley, they did lose their lives in the storm. We're still recovering from it. We'll always be recovering from it. Matt Lawpon cares about the community. He's not just there to collect a paycheck. I feel like Matt Lawpon has proven himself trustworthy.